Welcome to Simply Yoga Asana on Hero's Pose. This is a bit more of a challenging class, so if you have not already done your 12 sun salutations or warmed up, please do them here in this My Morning Yoga video with me. It just takes a few minutes. And in this class, we will really be opening up the thighs and should feel really nice for those of us who spend a lot of time sitting in front of a computer. I hope you enjoy. Let's find that comfortable seated position with the spine nice and long. Allow the eyes to softly shut. And let's take this little bit of time to slow down. Slowing our breath down. Slowing our thoughts down. Slowing ourselves down for a little while. We'll come right to sitting on our heels. So we'll have the feet right at hip distance apart, so it's like our heels are going to be sticking right into where our sits bones are, just slightly to the lateral side, so into our glute med, that really meaty part. And sitting up nice and tall, feeling the heels at the base of our spine, crown of the head, lengthening. And then perhaps just right here, with the hands comfortable, and close the eyes and come into a little breath of fire. Just pumping the belly, focusing on the exhale, let the inhale come naturally. If it feels all right, you can start to lean back, but continue the rhythm of the breath. If you need to, you can place your hands behind you if that makes you feel a little more stable. But we're trying to take some of the weight out of the knees and put the strength in our ankles and pressing down with the tops of our feet and toes. Stick with it, stay long, keep the rhythm going with the breath. If you'd like, you can reach the hands all the way up. This makes the balance a little more challenging. Bring the fingers in except for the thumbs, pointing toward each other, and see if we can go a little faster with the breath. Take a deep inhale in, and we'll hold the breath at the top. Engage Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, the base of the spine, pulling it in. And exhale, we'll place the hands out in front of us, coming up to tabletop. Feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart, right under the hips. Spread the fingers, try and widen through the shoulders. And we're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. And then we'll exhale back to child's pose. So place the hips back on the heels, drop the forehead. Inhale, coming all the way forward for cow. And then exhale back to child's pose. Moving with your own breath, inhaling forward. And exhaling back. Continue right there. Or inhale, staying really low, all the way up to a cobra or up dog. And then exhale back, staying low to child's pose. this becomes too challenging, you can just move back to inhaling up to up dog, or inhaling up to cow, and exhaling back to child's pose. And the next time we find ourselves on an exhale, we're going to tuck the toes and head back for a downward facing dog. And spin one knee and then the other. Take the feet to the edges of the mat so a little wider than usual. And just waking up the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, the ankles. And we'll place the forearms down on the earth, sinking the heart toward the toes. Bring the feet back to hip distance apart. And then we're going to float the knees just an inch up off the earth. So keep trying to sink your heart down towards your knees, opening the shoulders, and using the strength of the legs and the core. And just float the knees. And take a few deep breaths. And we'll come all the way forward to plank. We'll come down on our right elbow, so our right hand toward our left palm and the right elbow down. Then we'll bend our knees, so we'll place that right shin on the ground, stack the left leg on top, left hand to the hip. We'll try and get the hips nice and high. Take an inhale, and then we'll exhale it out. Inhale in. This time as we exhale, we'll lift that top leg, lift the hip, try and get the right hip as far away from the ground as possible. And then inhale and drop the left knee, drop the hip. Exhale, lift. Inhale, drop. Exhale, press. Inhale, let go. A few more. And then coming back through center, we'll head over to the other side. So the left shin on the ground, bend the knees, right hand to the hip. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and lift everything as high as we can. Inhale, let go. Exhale, lift. Inhale and exhale, a few at your own pace. And then coming back through center, put both forearms on the ground. Interlace the fingers except for the pinky. And forearm plank. Same deep breaths. And then coming all the way up for plank. And we'll bring that right foot all the way forward. Place the left knee down. Untuck the toes. Start to walk ourselves up, pressing on that front thigh. And then see if we can start to take some of the arch out of the spine by tucking the pelvis forward and sinking the hips. And a breath. And then we'll place the hands down and take an inhale, shine the heart up as best we can, sink into that front hip. Exhale slowly, pulling that right hip back, straightening the right leg as much as we can, flexing the right toes, letting the crown of the head roll down. And then inhale, moving all the way forward, sinking the hips, opening the heart, opening the breath. And then exhale, heading back. A few of these at the pace of your own breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And the next time that you find yourself forward, place the left hand down, bend into the left knee. Reach back with the right hand and pull that left heel in towards your glute. Deep breath. Really trying to place that left thigh down on the ground. Trying to roll so far forward that the left knee isn't even touching your mat anymore. Really feeling this opening through that quadricep, through the thigh. Prepping the body, prepping the breath. As we let go of that back foot, straighten that back leg. Coming up to our fingertips. And finding that strength in our foundation as we use our hands to help. And we can place that left elbow on the right thigh for our twist, or keep it on the ground and just use the right hand on the thigh to find a nice twist. If you'd like to come into the prayer or the bind, and we'll just be here for a few breaths. And releasing that side. Coming through center, send the right foot back to meet the left. We'll take an inhale in and plank. Exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale through and up. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring that left foot forward. Exhale, and place the right knee down. Inhale, coming up with the hands on the thigh. Exhale, sink into it. Continue these nice long breaths, tucking the pelvis forward, sinking into the hips, nice and long through the crown of the head. And placing the hands down. Inhale, shining the heart up, sinking into the hips, expanding the body. And then exhale, pulling back with that left hip. Let the pull straighten that front leg. Flex the toes. Inhale, rolling all the way forward, feeling all the little shifts in the hips. And exhale back. And follow this for a little while, pace of your own breath. Next time you find yourself forward, right hand stays, right knee bends, reach back with the left hand, sink, and breathe. And releasing the right foot, place that foot down, straighten that back leg, and come into our twist, a little assistance, or a lot. Finding your breath, finding what works for you today in your practice. And releasing that side, coming back through center, left foot back. This time let's just place our knees down. We'll roll our mat once to make a little pillow to place our knees down. And once again come sitting on our heels, hands in our laps. And let's close our eyes for a moment. And let's check back in, noticing any little shifts in the body, shifts in the thoughts, shifts in the breath. With this same connection, let's come standing on our knees and just place our hands at our low back with the fingers facing down. Like we're trying to press the heel of our palms into that most delicate spot that we can find in our low back that needs just a little extra support. And as we sink the hips forward and the shoulders start to open and relax back, tuck the chin slightly, lengthen through the crown of the head, and really engage our core muscles. So not rounding with the core, but trying to pull the core in and up to support our back bend. Pressing down with the tops of the feet, see if we can sink the hips a little farther forward and open the heart a little bit more. Maybe the head starts to head back. Release only if it is comfortable. See if you can relax the jaw. Maybe one hand makes its way towards your heels. Maybe both. Deep breaths wherever you are. Nice and supported core. Nice opening through the whole body. The whole body is active. And just as slowly as you came into it, one hand at a time, coming back to the low back so we can support ourselves all the way back to seated on those heels once again. And closing the eyes. And just notice how each pose shifts our experience just a little bit. And how all those little bits add up to change. We'll press ourselves back up, moving just a little faster this time since we know where we're going. Staying connected to our breath. Releasing that side. And one more time. We'll press ourselves up on a deep inhale. Hold the breath at the top. Engage the core. Engage Mula Bandha. hold the breath for as long as we can. When you just can't hold it anymore, we'll exhale and release it out. And release that little pillow in our mat. And then coming sideways on our mats, nice and wide with our stance, and pulling our heels in and pointing our toes out, bending nice and deep into our knees. And we'll come right up to center. Arms out to the side, reaching long. And then we'll inhale the right heel up. Exhale, place it down. Inhale the left heel up. Exhale, place it down. Inhale both heels up. Exhale, place them down. Inhale both heels up. Exhale, place them down. Inhale them up one more time. Exhale, place them down. We'll place the hands down as well. Turn the toes in, so now the heels are farther out, really opening up the outside, the lateral side of the legs. Grab on to the heels, the ankles. Just let the hands relax on the earth. Whenever you would like to really release the torso, really release the legs. Now try and press out into the heels, and then we'll walk over to one side. And walk over to the other side. And coming back through center. And then walking over to one side to place ourselves all the way back so we can come back to our hands and knees. This time we're going to take our feet the width of our mat and get our knees in toward each other. There are different schools of thought, whether or not the knees should be pressing in toward each other or at hip distance apart. I will allow you to listen to your own body and decide which works best for you in our hero's pose. So this might be plenty, and this might also be too much. And if it is too much, you can grab a cushion of some kind to sit on to get your hips a little bit higher, because we will be here breathing for a little while. If you would like a little more, take our hands back behind us and just slowly start to walk our hands away from us. If as you are walking back, you start to notice that your elbows are getting a little closer to the ground, feel free to place them down and give yourself a little support. Still try and press down with the toes, keeping the legs active. Notice if there's a big arch in the lumbar spine. See if you can tuck the pelvis forward, really get the stretch happening in our thigh and our hip flexors. If it's comfortable on our elbows, we can grab our heels and just gently try and press our whole torso away so we have a little traction in the spine. If that is comfortable, perhaps lying all the way back is available for you. You can continue pressing the heels away. This is one of my absolute favorite stretches, especially to create some space in the lumbar spine. So if we use a gentle strength of our arms, we can really use this as an opportunity to create traction or space or length in between each of our vertebrae so that our pelvis moves a little farther away. Crown of the head moves a little farther away. Again, you can stay here or reach the arms up over your head and clasp opposite elbows if you would like. These are all just variations on a theme. The theme of Hero's Pose. Coming back to those same long inhales and long exhales. And as we open up this rather uncomfortable part of the body, I want you to think about what a hero means to you. Now that hopefully you have an idea of what a hero is, I want you to think about one small thing that you can do today to take one step a little closer to becoming that hero in this world, in your own life. And then just as gently as we came into it, let's find our way back out. We'll release the feet and roll all the way back, pulling our knees into our chest, staying here, grabbing a happy baby. Or plows in your practice, send the feet up and over. And if you'd like to invert today, send the feet up toward the sky for shoulder stand. Sure all the weight is in the shoulders and elbows, not in the neck. And breathe. And then rolling down, and we'll just place the heels on the ground as close into our sits bones as we can. Our hands will go right at the very tops of our thighs. And we will press our hips away as best we can to really lengthen through our whole spine. Press down with the back of the head. Lengthen through the arms and shoulders. Try and create as much space between the vertebrae as possible. And then we will reach the heels straight up into the sky, arms out into a T shape. We'll inhale in, pick a side, and exhale over. Inhale the heels to center, exhale to the other side, moving with the pace of your own breath. Extending through the twists and the obliques and the core. Moving a little faster. Inhale to center. And then we'll exhale and place the heels down. And push the heels down, lift the hips up. We're only going to come up once today, so you can stay here and bridge, or place the hands under the shoulders and press yourself up for Urdhva, if that is in your practice. And take a few breaths. Lift one heel up toward the sky. And lift the other heel up. And then coming up to the balls of the feet. We'll roll down one vertebra at a time and extend out into our final Shavasana. Closing the eyes, relaxing the tongue from the roof of the mouth if it is attached, letting the breath come easily in and out of the nose, giving ourselves this time to integrate this whole practice into our system, giving ourselves this time to really slow down. Slowly find your way back to your body, back to your breath. And you can decide to stay right here, melting down into your mat, or gently find your way back to that comfortable position in which we started our journey together. Sitting or lying down, just noticing. Noticing the thoughts, noticing the focus, noticing the breath. And have we slowed down just a little bit? Let it go every time, or you will find it, whatever it is, consuming your life. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for practicing. And until the next, adventure well.